Hi, I'm Annalisa. I hope you guys join us for the 10th anniversary of World Speech Day.
We are from Zhangjiagang Ivy Experimental High School of China.
Bonjour, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Prince Ekane, speaking to you right from Cameroon, a nation that is full and rich with culture, diversities, and resilience. Today, being the World Speech Day, I'm delighted to share from my own corner of the globe with you.
Hello everyone! We're here from St. Joseph High School, Tanjung Balai Karimun to promote World Speech Day.
Hi, my name is Cecily and she is Camila and we are from Villa Educativa de Saltillo.
Namaste. This is Aishwarya Jaykumar from India.
This year, we are going to be celebrating the 10th anniversary. It is going to be celebrated on the 15th of March 2025. Go to our social media handles and search World Speech Day and register to participate in this life-changing event.
Welcome to Villa Educativa from Saltillo, Mexico.
We have the honor to participate in World Speech for the last 7 years.
We will bring to you in this event over 50 speakers who will share with you their insights, their stories, and their aspirations to build a better world.
We are in about 100 countries around the world. So now, Barbarino Tavernelle, representing Italy, is one of those 100 countries.
Hello, I'm Molu Modise, the Program Manager of World Speech Day South Africa, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Book Club.
Hi everyone, this is Ibrahim speaking from Yemen. It's my pleasure being a part in this International Speech Day. As you know that Yemen is recently going through a very complicated situation.
Hi everyone, this is Catherine Osorio from El Salvador and I'm really happy to be here at the World Speech Day.
On the occasion of World Speech Day, I would like to share some of my thoughts with all beautiful souls.
This year's theme is the unexpected voices. So get ready, get registered and listen to the hidden talents of our youth, children and adults all over the world.
Hello, we are Pilar Garcia Paulo, Sofia Moyano, and Valentina Olnovoa, and we are students from St. Mary of the Hills School. In remembrance of the 10th anniversary of the World Speech Day, we're going to deliver a speech about gender equality, one of the Sustainable Development Goals, and about women under Taliban regimes. Women are the reason life is possible, but they are not allowed to experience it. This may be something unreasonable for us Argentinians, yet it is the day-to-day life for women under Taliban regimes in Afghanistan.
They are just as human beings as anyone, and they are expected to fulfill certain requirements regarding their way of living, which would sound outrageous to you. Things like not being able to travel alone, show themselves in any aspect, and attend school are only part of their atrocious rules imparted in their regular routine.
To start with, the simple act of traveling on their own is disguised as a safety policy that only contributes to undermining women's rights. They're restricted in values such as autonomy and mobility, which should be simple principles accessible to everyone. They dream, they desire, and they aspire, yet they're stopped from accomplishing their passions by absurd restrictions. How is it fair that a man may live without limits, but a woman can't even move around without being accompanied by one? What is a huge difference between a woman and a man that restricts one from nothing and the other of everything?
In addition, it is requested that the feminine part of the population belonging to the Taliban states must wear thick, loose clothing along with the usage of an ornament named the hijab. Not only is it compulsory to use them to cover their face, but also their bodies. Hence, they hide themselves behind a piece of cloth, a piece of fabric, as pieces of enigmatic forms. How would you feel if it was you who had to bear the dreadful temperatures during summer under those clothes? How is it even possible to picture a life with no choice? Moreover, these policies are supposed to hinder the temptation and the lecherous looks lots of men may lay out, but at the end is no more than a commission for survival.
Besides, would you believe that something that is an obligation for us is not even a choice for them? Well, these women are indeed excluded from education. In 2021, when the Taliban returned to power, they established that girls who exceeded the age of 12 weren't allowed to attend school anymore. This means that only primary education is permitted for them, since even universities were banned. According to the Human Rights Watch, the Taliban's discriminatory ban is depriving at least 1.4 million girls of their right to education, which has discouraged all their hopes. In the long term, this contempt of women's role and their essential contributions will lead to an unequal, segregated, and impoverished society.
Therefore, after listening to all this information, would you consider that gender equality has improved in any measure throughout the years? Should changes be made, or do you think this is fair? We personally believe that the world is in all our hands, and everyone is responsible for making an impact in any way. You don't have to be the most powerful person in the world to help move things around. Just by spreading awareness and how unfair this is, you can make things change.
The earth is sick, and climate change is just a symptom. Overconsumption is a real disease. Overconsumption refers to the excessive use of resources for the mass manufacture and sale of products of all sorts, from the food that we eat daily to our never-ending closet full of quickly made clothes. As an obvious consequence, the fabrication of said things causes explicable harm not only to the environment but to humans as well. This is caused by the titanic demands that surpass the planet's ability to sustain its ecosystem and support life. The environmental degradation that endangers the balance necessary for the long-term sustainability can no longer be evicted. The explosive and excruciating effects of the mass production of goods are palpable. We can sense it in the air, smell the rot in our rivers. It's creating a world where lots of animal species can no longer survive in, and who knows, we could be the next ones in line. The world will no longer be safe, and food will no longer be edible if we continue down its reckless path of overproduction with such severe consequences on the environment and public health. Climate change is an enormous ghost that haunts us, and refusing to acknowledge it will not make it vanish. The planet isn't the only one being impacted by our consumers' behavior. We're damaging ourselves too. I consume, therefore I am. This quote comes from the idea that if we don't buy or consume certain products that are fashionable, we don't exist in the society. With the arrival of social media, not being influenced by what's trendy is even harder than before. On social media, we're constantly bombarded with colorful and stimulating advertisements, specifically made to make you buy something you may not actually need or want. Influencers are paid to tell you you need to buy something because you're missing out, causing feelings of inadequacy and envy, and encouraging a culture of overconsumerism, which is making replace what's useful with what's trendy. We now base our value on modern and stylish things we believe will make us more important in society's eyes. We've been programmed our brains to ignore our qualities and identify our material lacks. What's more, technology has innovated how we consume, making buying something much more effortless and gratifying than before. While for us, buying may seem like an enjoyable activity to do on a Saturday afternoon, millions of people endure relentless abuse and suffering every single day just to produce the goods that we mindlessly consume. Corporations exploit those desperate for work, forcing them into grueling 10-hour shifts in inhuman conditions, paying them wages so low that survival itself becomes a struggle. No breaks, no dignity, just exhaustion and despair. Also, we can enjoy products that too often we discard without a second thought. This vicious cycle, fueled by our culture of waste, endless demand for more, destroys lives, devastates our planet, and ultimately leaves us all at loss. No one truly benefits except the corporations that profit from our blind consumption, while workers suffer, ecosystems collapse, and our future hangs by a thread. So I ask you to reflect. Do you want to be a passive participant in the cycle of harm, or do you want to take a stand? We have the power to change course by consuming mindfully, valuing quality over quantity, and resisting the pull of unnecessary trends. We can protect our planet and our well-being. It's up to you to decide. Are you willing to stand up for yourself and protect your bright future? Or do you let yourself be led down easy by the path that will ruin your chances of survival?
What is the world's enemy number one? Penury, fights, plagues. These often are shown to us as the world's public enemy number one. But this annoying repetitive speech just serves as a well-planned smokescreen that drives our attention away from the real issue that is harming the world, ourselves.
Our representative of a town in Rio Negro, Argentina, named El Bolsón, was reduced to ashes. The whole country was stunned when the news revealed that the destructive fires were claimed to be carelessly man-made. Plastic bottles used by humans, which have helped ignite the fire, were found in a zone where it began. Despite there being debate whether the fire was or not accidental, we believe that it very well could have been. And throwing plastic to the ground the same way could repeat the disaster in the future because of the sun and the heat, which could start the fire. At first, when the arrival of a spreading wildfire started to raise nature, public uneasiness began to appear, for good reason. This catastrophe includes the complete loss of more than 4,000 hectares of this town, where a tragic amount of 600 hides of family residents and 850 unfortunate citizens were evacuated. This alone is incredibly impactful, but we still did not mention the worst, a tragic loss.
Picture this. You enjoyed 80 years of life with cheerful relationships, child memories, and beloved family reflections. Suddenly, fire comes in a rush, and you find yourself deciding whether to escape to a risky unknown life or accept your destiny, dying together with your home, pets, and memories. This was the devastating case of Angel Reyes, an old neighbor in El Bolsón who, refusing to leave behind his nostalgia, died burned at home. Bringing everything together, we cannot stress enough how important it is for everyone to be mindful and careful with every action involved in our day-to-day activities. If you live in a city, you will not think of throwing papers or plastics as impactful, since this will not burn the street. However, you are feeding the habit of an unsustainable culture, which is then carried to people in rural areas where it can actually cause a fateful disaster. Our environment culture must be changed. Recycle, reduce, and reuse.
Imagine where you'd be now if you hadn't had all the opportunities you had along your life. Going to school, having people taking care of you, and simply having a roof over your head are simple things many kids lack access to. Nevertheless, every child around the world should be able to grow up with the rights being acclaimed.
It's our responsibility as part of a society to defend the kids' rights. It's our responsibility to protect the most vulnerable ones. Every child has indiscriminately the same rights, no matter their race, gender, religion, social status, language, political or other opinions, nationality, birth, or other status, whether of the child himself or his family. Every child should be able to grow physically, mentally, and socially in a completely healthy environment. Every child has the right to a name and a nationality. Every child has the right to food, medical care, and a place to live. Every child has the right to have a good education. Every child has the right to have fun and play. Every child has the right to be able to seek help in case of danger. And lastly, no child should be abandoned or subjected to forced labor. Do you think these are simple things? Things that everyone has? Could you imagine a life, for instance, without an identity?
Nowadays, it may seem antique or insane, but around the world, even in our country, children are forced to work. Whether it is due to our specific culture or an economic necessity, their childhoods are being snatched from them, as well as their possibility to develop the necessary abilities to thrive in life.
Every day, children around the world suffer various forms of exploitation through prostitution. It's not limited to a particular region of the world and affects both boys and girls equally. The exploitation of children not only represents a violation of their rights, but also a violation to their dignity and a whole lifetime trauma. It manifests itself in different ways, such as child trafficking, child sex tourism, online exploitation, and child marriage. A few days ago, I was shocked by a touching report that spoke about at least 250 minors who were forced into prostitution. How can it be possible that more than 200 children were being constantly raped and no one spoke a thing?
All around the world, these rights are constantly being violated, ruining kids' childhoods and putting them in danger. Putting in danger our kids to the future. Those needs have to be secured by us. As the society that surrounds them, we should defend these children. Institutions, social workers, and civilians play a huge role when a child's rights are preserved. Every single person matters. We can change the story.
What would you do to return to the time you think everything was sunshine and rainbows? What would you do to go back into that innocent, curious, and sweet little kid you once were? So you see, this nostalgic feeling you get is the outcome of having experienced the most pure and heartwarming phase of life, and unfortunately a melancholy that kids nowadays won't be able to sense, whether society keeps exposing them to the real and rough reality at early stages of their life. The main source of the change in their growth is attributed to social media. Social media, the global phenomenon to whom we lastly blame for everything, and the main source of the huge exposure kids are having towards the internet, and that is turning into something that can end up risking their lives.
More and more adult words are reproduced in children's mouths. More and more respect and courtesy are simple values that do not go hand in hand with infant behavior. More and more, social media is lifting the veil off and pushing eager souls to feast of rudeness and vulgar language. Therefore, the habit of hearing these kind of words, not only from family but also from influencers, internet videos, and so on, is gradually mutating the ways of talking and even thinking. Despite this issue has always been part of the natural pattern of admiring, imitating, and idolizing adults. Over the past years, this has been exacerbated. This has led to kids not being able to express themselves without the use of this vocabulary. Childhood has not only been threatened within the speaking, but also has interrupted their dressing. Consequently, this not only mirrors the way children are willing to show themselves as grown-ups, but also starts morphing into a new way in which adults might perceive them.
According to an investigation from the National Health Organization, 1 out of 6 youngsters in the world suffers from cyber abuse. Shocking, isn't it? But how about if I tell you that 1 out of 8 kids in the world has at some point been the abuser? Abuser. Breathtaking is the fact that that cruel and imposing word has been attached to a kid. Because we certainly know that they don't match each other. Kids are not born with cruelty. If they lose their path in the middle of the way, it is because there is no one guiding them and teaching them how to belong respectfully within the community. Though some cyber abuse, like cyberbullying, often arise from the carelessness of immaturity, there are also more serious cases where adults take advantage of those who are most vulnerable. Despite the fact that many children demonstrate certain knowledge from the adult world, they still lack the skills that bring help to identify danger in disguised scenarios. They still lack the real consciousness of cruelty because they are still vulnerable and immature, like green apples. The little ones should not go through such a delicate and ruthless situation.
The internet hasn't only interrupted their childhood by the way they're manifesting themselves to the world, but started transforming the way their inner body works and functions. Their brain was affected, their neural activity was affected, their life was affected. By nature, children are in a constant period of activity and resting in their daily life. However, this state has been modified by the excessive exposure to social media. Professional surveys have shown that the use of the web has altered creativity, the process of emotions, and decision making. Even the cognitive control has been weakened, causing a reduction in concentration, controlling impulses, and paying attention. This addiction has literally been lowering rest time due to the amount of hours kids use social media during sleep time instead of resting. Skipping the sleeping period deteriorates youngsters' activity and energy for the rest of the day. Overall, we wish for a brighter childhood, for happier children, and for a more compassionate community. Let's hack the innocence of immaturity and bubble wrap the next generations. Let's fight to return the kids to real-life playgrounds and enjoy them without the need of a screen.
Show them how to disconnect from the internet and how to connect with nature and other children. Let's teach them that being bored is not something bad when we take it as an opportunity to be creative. Let children be children and childhood be the refuge.
We are Martina Gunza and Amanda Gomez-Perizati, and today we would like to talk to you about the AI quandary. A marvelous invention or our most significant error? Imagine a future where diseases are diagnosed in seconds, where self-driving cars drastically reduce accidents, and where business operates with unprecedented efficiency. That future is not decades away. It is now. And it is what we all call artificial intelligence, an advanced technology that allows machines and devices to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as learning, reasoning, and problem solving. AI is enhancing healthcare by predicting illnesses way before symptoms appear, transforming education with personalized learning, revolutionizing industries from finance to agriculture, optimizing processes, reducing waste, and increasing productivity. The power of AI lies only not in what it can do today, but what it can become. As AI continues to evolve, the potential to solve some of humanity's greatest challenges, like climate change, global harm, and more. This might sound scary for some of us. Is AI going to replace us, take our jobs? These are valid questions, but we would like to offer you a different perspective. We think we should evolve with it, embrace it. AI can be great and a really powerful partner if we know how to use it. The same questions were asked when computers appeared. Did it replace us? No, it even created more job opportunities for us. AI is a tool, and its impact depends on how we choose to use it. The question shouldn't be whether AI is going to take our jobs or not, but rather, what can I do with AI today that I could not do yesterday? This is a question that opens doors, sparks ideas, and creates opportunities. As Colin Pandurani said on TED Talk, the people who need to worry about AI aren't the ones who are actively learning how to use it, but the ones who are too afraid to embrace it, since they will fall behind, and with it, we might unlock not only its potential, but ours as well. Remember, AI isn't here to take your places, it's here to take you places. Of course, with great power comes great responsibility. We shouldn't use it ever to make everything for us and to not even think through what it did. Like, using ChatGPT to do your homework. However, there are even deeper things that we think should be regulated. Although AI has many positive aspects, as I mentioned earlier, it is dangerous for our lives in terms of privacy. Our private information is no longer private. AI knows what we talk about, what we do, and even what we think sometimes. Have you ever thought about something and immediately seen an advertisement about it on social media? Isn't that shocking? Misinformation is a huge problem as well. Maybe we're trusting technology excessively. People believe it is the best source of information when it comes to AI, although it is not. Not everything online is true. Fake news also exist and can influence your choices and ways of thinking. Personal responsibility cannot be left alone to be regulated by yourself when it comes to AI. We think laws should be applied to it. When you're given a car, for example, a variety of laws are imposed for everything to be controlled and to keep everyone safe, including yourself. AI lets you create images, videos, and fake information without restrictions, which also involves a great responsibility. One day you may wake up to a call from your mother, sobbing desperately, saying that she's being kidnapped and begging for a great amount of money for the kidnapper to let her go. Nowadays, scammers can do this with AI. Notice how it can be a great arm of great danger? It's very alarming to think about. In conclusion, artificial intelligence can be a great enemy as well as a great ally. We cannot deny that it has several advantages and it is here now in our present. So we need to learn how to use it correctly without harming others. Thinking about what we do with it and hoping that someday laws appear for AI. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Artificial intelligence has been around for at least 5 years now, and the impact it has had in our lives is more than significant. It is great for a number of our day-to-day tasks, and it can help us accomplish many things. But there is one specific task in particular which has caused insane controversy among everyone, and it is whether artificial intelligence can create art or not. Firstly, let's just give the short answer, which is no. Art is something that is uniquely human. It is designed to reflect human feelings, emotions, and our way of being. Our own human nature is supposed to be portrayed in a canvas, maybe in a music recording, or in any method of self-expression which cannot be replicated by a computer or a machine. There is a quote by actor John Margot which says that art is a language that is meant to speak the things that we can say. And I think this is incredibly true, because humans have flaws. We have flaws, we are not perfect. And this art that is created by machines is devoid of this imperfection, which is what in turn makes art art. Does a machine, which is capable of processing emotions, understand what art really has to say? When you stare at a painting in a museum, it makes you think, it is thought-provoking. The artist has an intention that is underlying in the message of a canvas. And a machine cannot replicate that. It could never replicate that because it doesn't feel, which in turn is what makes art devoid of any emotion. Artificial intelligence generated images often have great detail, great clarity, they have great use of colors, they could be seen as superior illustrations that maybe a less talented person could ever do by hand, and that is fine. But there is ultimately a mixing of concepts. It is not art. It should be said that it is a mere illustration. An illustration, which surely has many uses, of course. At the end of the day, it is a tool and it is made to serve humans. But it is a fatal mistake to confuse it with art. Sure, art can be subjective. I cannot find the same beauty someone else finds in the same things that someone else finds. However, it is not the same to say that I find beauty in Van Gogh and my mom finds beauty in Monet than saying that I think this software does things better than another software, because there is no such thing as better art or not. Artificial intelligence is a very objective With software, it has a very objective parameter, and as I said before, art lies in its imperfections. Though machine-created illustrations can be impressive, its works are incredibly hollow and superficial. Art goes far beyond aesthetics. Sure, maybe a certain program can draw things more accurately, more realistically than I do. But at the end of the day, my drawing is a reflection of myself. It is a reflection of how I am, of the way I think, and that is what makes art beautiful. Because machines can create illustrations, but only humans can create art. Thank you.
AI just makes my life easier and more convenient, helping me with my homework and leaving me more time to enjoy. This is one of the multiple excuses children make when they're asked why they use programs with artificial intelligence. My name is Federica Exner, and today I'm going to talk about the irremediable changes that the AI will leave in younger generations. So, is the digital pacifier nurturing or numbing the next generation? First of all, I want to clarify that I do not think we should stop using websites such as ChatGPT or Gemini. On the contrary, I think these are exceptional tools if you know how to use them correctly. Even I use them on a regular basis. However, the dependence on these resources has been increasing non-stop these last couple of months when artificial intelligence has become accessible to everybody who has access to the internet. Modern generations are used to immediacy and convenience, which is why when they're asked to look up something, they will usually use an AI assistant, like Siri or Alexa. This problem may lead to the constant need of instant gratification, which then can end in kids getting irritated for not getting what they want on their first attempt. Secondly, it is common knowledge that children need multiple resources for brain development, more specifically the development of fine motor skills. This can be helped by colorful and textured toys or activities such as drawing and writing. Nonetheless, nowadays we see more and more parents give their child screens. A screen can provide endless entertainment, what we usually call the digital pacifier. However, it encourages passive consumption rather than active engagement. As a result of this, there are fewer opportunities for children to learn critical skills such as critical thinking and problem solving, and they may even lose the opportunity to interact fully with the content, considering several answers and developing their autonomous thinking skills when AI is not available. Which brings me to my next point, the increased dependence on artificial intelligence. We have become more and more reliant on AI. Although these tools can increase our productivity, when it's used excessively, a generation may fail to do essential jobs that call for creativity or sophisticated cognition when AI is not available. Imagine a day in the future when young adults start working and are unable to solve problems or come up with unique ideas without the help of a digital assistant. This reliance not only interferes with their individual development, but also may run the risk of reducing people's creative potential, leading to a dollar-cultured society with little aspiration for originality. Finally, let's look at the long-term effects. If this trend continues, we might see a society where perseverance is weakened and essential life skills such as critical thinking and problem solving, as I mentioned before, are left behind. Mental health and well-being may also be affected if people don't know how to handle or solve problems without the technical use. Children who experience this may also develop a demand for quick gratification and become irritated and not getting their needs fulfilled right away, which can also then interfere in the development of critical skills such as patience or resilience. In conclusion, even though the AI has multiple advantages, we have to act cautiously when incorporating it to our daily lives, finding a balance between using these tools efficiently to bring out the best work we can and maintaining the fundamental abilities that define our thinking and our identities is crucial. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a world where cars drive us and computers talk to us every day and every question we could ever have is answered in a second. Well, guess what? We are already there. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is no longer science fiction. It's woven into the fabric of our daily lives. But as exciting as it sounds, it's also brings with it a lot of serious consequences, both good and bad. Hi everyone, my name is Tomas Mendiola, and I'm here today to speak about the implementation of artificial intelligence in our daily lives and the effects it has with it. Think about this. What if a machine could make decisions for you? Nowadays, artificial intelligence makes decisions for us. The algorithm choose the things like the movies we watch, the shows we watch, the news we consume, and also the songs we listen to. These things are automatized in different apps which help us to do this. But we can see it, for example, in Netflix, where it recommends you the movie that fits best according to the things you watch usually. But do you think this is good or bad? Because it can have a good and a negative side of it. Because this can influence us the way we decide each day, but some people see this as something positive or something negative. But as much as we give freedom to the artificial intelligence to decide by us, our freedoms is each day less. So there's also another issue, which is the shops, because as you may know and you may think in your home that the artificial intelligence is taking place of the human every day in factories or in a little shop in your town, and you think that is the end and that artificial intelligence is taking over all human jobs, but no, it's not as you may think, because the artificial intelligence with it brings more jobs for development of the new technologies, so it's quite important to know all these things. But maybe someone who is about to graduate from the university thinks that this is a bit disgusting, because he may think that this is a difficult moment and maybe all his career he has been studying was for nothing. So we have to notice that also the artificial intelligence is good for us in some aspects in the shops, and makes for the businesses, for the companies, sometimes a more easier job that is not requires the same payment and the same method, but it's not that bad as it appears to be, because it's open a new more possibilities. And we also have to speak about the good part, because now we are talking about how the jobs are each day less, we can say, by the artificial intelligence, but we have to picture these things, like AI-driven medical system that can detect diseases earlier than any other human doctor. There are a lot of examples that have worked, and this is a quite important development from the AI that shows how the medicine, that is something that most people are afraid of disease and things, so it's very, very important for this to work right. And also it helps to other aspects, like to fight to the climate change, and maybe the cars or the methods of transportation that are intelligent help us to improve our daily life. And then we have to mention, it's not a little detail, that it comes with a huge responsibility. If AI can learn, if it can make decisions, what happens if it decides against us? This is something we tend to see in movies or in little videos who create a fiction about the artificial intelligence and robots coming against us. And this is the moment we get scared and think of these kind of things, which is very difficult because AI hasn't been developed all across the world in a totality. We can say that it's majorly in the US and in Europe, but in the rest of the world it's still with little presence, but it's still improved. But if it's always under the control of human beings, we can say that this isn't scary. But some decisions can affect us in a drastic way. So as we welcome the AI, let's ask ourselves, are we ready to share our lives with something that will one day outsmart us? Will it control it, or will it control us? This is a big question we make, but we can say that we'll control it, but we don't know yet. In the end, AI is like fire. you can use it for writing and to have a better vision, and it can also warm us, but at the same time, if you abuse of it, you can have some very, very serious consequences. So as a result, AI is something we have to study deep so that we can improve it in the best method possible to improve the world. Thank you very much.
Last week, I caught myself listening to a randomly assigned playlist on Spotify. What was weird enough was that I felt like I already heard that song before, even though it was the first time I was listening to it. However, I quickly realized that it was because it sounded like every other song nowadays. Sadly, that happens so often that it's hard to draw a line on what we consciously like or enjoy and what we've been conditioned to consume. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, I'm going to talk about how AI and technology is affecting the way we look, think, live, our way of expressing ourselves, and the culture. Firstly, it is so common to hear, especially from people my age, that they want to dress cool. And with that desire, they are creating many subcultures to box the so-called aesthetic. Conventionally, stores start overflowing with that so-called unique and different style. And before you notice, everyone is dressing the same. I mean, waiting for a new trend to drop. I mean, this isn't new. We've all been through that skinny jeans, high ponytail up to here phase. But where I'm going with all of this is that with AI technology, everything starts sounding the same, looking the same, feeling the same, especially affecting our culture. What before was a way of self-expression has become a blank canvas where those who dare to paint themselves are ridiculed. The use of technology and power recognition programs in social media tend to generate a stereotypical product as standardization tools that adapt to market demands. It is easier to sell basic and neutral stuff than bold. We know that when demand for something is low, offer is also going to decrease because people just won't produce something that's not going to sell. Basically, it turns in the survival of the fittest, where authenticity has to compete against millions of specialized in analyzing data, AI, and with access to gigantic platforms in the world. Secondly, Stanford experts warn that AI is becoming dangerously homogenized. Streaming platforms such as Spotify, TikTok, Instagram employ AI to optimize the user experience by suggesting content that is popular in a global level. This generates a so-called bubble effect, where those users consume content that reinforces their previous interests and adapts to global consumption. This algorithm is amplifying popular content, leaving little to no space to original smaller productions. But surely that popular content it has quality, right? Well, to the contrary of what most people think, the content that pleases more people and catches the most attention is exactly the one that has no meaning and it's meant to profit only. It is easier to fill up brands with empty media that its aim is to distract rather than to encourage critical thinking. So now we question ourselves, when did all of this start? When did we become so easy to manipulate? The answer to that, everybody, is when we stop choosing. When we take what AI and technology tell us as the only truth, as the only option, when we stop thinking, is when we lost ourselves. So I really hope that this speech does not turn into a threat, but rather a blow of hope to keep being human. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sofia Maldonado, and today I will talk not only about the risks of using AI in order to create false content, but also I'm going to help with its detection in order to stop manipulation. But firstly, I want to ask you something. Tell me, have any of you ever seen online an image, video, or information about something or someone which you believed it was true because it was hyper-realistic, but it was actually fake content made up with AI? If it is the case, I think we should emphasize on how dangerous this is, because it shows us that nowadays it is becoming impossible to distinguish the real and trustworthy information, since these technologies continue to evolve and are becoming increasingly accessible. As a consequence, the privacy of each individual is put at risk. For example, there is a recent case where a 15-year-old boy has been accused of selling photographs of his female classmates that he had taken from her Instagram accounts and modified them with AI to represent them without clothes. For instance, the dignity and the preservation of the personal identity of those girls has been ruined because of the wrong use of the AI, don't you think? As we can see, deepfake technology becomes more sophisticated. The need for complex detection methods has been intensified, leading to the development of new tools and strategies combining technological innovation with policies and cybersecurity. One of the methods includes multimedia forensics, which recognizes anomalies in lightings, shadows, and reflections that are often forgotten by algorithms on videos or images. The convolutional neural networks uses machines to identify subtle errors on something done by the AI that us humans might ignore. Although these methods of work are challenged by the amount of content uploaded online daily, so there is a constant requirement for more upgraded and fast methods. So, to sum up, I believe that because of the access that every one of us has to AI, there exists a possibility in which it is used on the wrong way to manipulate people. Thank you for listening.
In a world where ChatGPT provides a quick answer the second we finish typing it, or where TikTok entertains us with multiple and endless personalized content, a new generation is growing up and evolving among the artificial intelligence. At the very beginning, they started as a convenient tool, and now it has become a companion which influences how we learn, our opinions, our socializing, and even our emotions. As it evolves, we are more accustomed to its constant gratification, and it alternates our patience and our capacity for deeper connection. So, in this new era of human-AI interaction, are we willing to continue letting this affect our daily lives, or are we going to embrace the new technology and rethink how to connect both online and offline lifestyles? To begin with, living in a life of constant stimulus got us used to quick answers. Because the AI gives us personalized and concrete, concentrates their responses as we like it or prefer it most, we do not like what happens when we receive an answer we think is not effective. And the same thing happens with relationships. What I'm trying to say is nowadays people do not receive the love we used to receive in the past. We are more selfish and individualist, and this caught the attention of several who think that that kind of attention can only be given by these technological routes. And that's partially true, because unlike humans, AI give us this information, this attention, without asking anything in response. In addition, having the tool of an intelligence telling you always what you want to hear doesn't allow much imagination, not developing the critical thinking, and always not having different point of view. As I previously said, AI can personalize and experiences, but also can manipulate opinions and ideas. That is more vulnerable for the younger people than the other ones that are the native AI users, and which they believe and never question what it is saying. In connection to this, interacting with AI virtual friends and assistants and give them information, allow them to know what you are more likely to consume and linking our identities the most. So you can, as much as you do with these interactions, you're more likely to have some consequences, such as an identity crisis. For example, we are bombarded by videos in Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube videos, where we are more asked to how you should live, how you should act according to, and that is also connected to traditional ideologies of how you are expected to think. So now let's return to relationships. How are the social dynamics going to be like? Well, with the evolution of these virtual assistants and friends, they are more comprehended to understand your feelings about people may experience. So the AI will work better and answer better of how they want you to feel. So, do you recall when I said that some people started to develop some kind of love to this AI? Well, in real life situations have manifested suicide or depression. For example, there was a kid who made a friend, a virtual friend. He personalized it, he tells it everything that happens to him in the day, and started to feel a romantic situationship, can be said. And when he understood that he couldn't be with that AI, he suicided. And well, it's now a very common case, and it's not only happened to once, but this is one story. Moreover, in connection with all of this, AI can create based on a series of videos of the anti-humor created by not durable responses that people have, a series of memes and videos called brain rot that despite this term wants to say the bad side of it, well, when there's like people very down that just laugh for it for a second and get to the next stimulus the other, it can also have a different effect. It can be a trigger point for some people to socialize, and well, if they are not obsessed, these absurd memes tend to be pretty much funny. Also, we have to pay attention to not filter inappropriate content for children, and get to help these obsessed and vicious people to live life and not miss out opportunities in life. So, in conclusion, AI continues to internalize our daily lives, how it is shaping our habits and how it is living throughout our online and offline situations. Some challenges that demands were the emotionally dependent on it, and well, not having a romantic situation in your head with it. The key to balance this is to embrace the new technology and also the offline genuine situations that connect people. So as individuals and as society, we have to interact with it in a responsible way. Thank you for listening.
Have you ever thought about what will happen in the future when the AI starts replacing us humans in our daily routines, in our jobs? As a 16-year-old teenager, I have been asking myself that question a bit too much lately, and I'm having a very important role in the decision-making of my future career. What will the future have for me? The technological world is changing. Nowadays,
intelligence has been efficiently completing tasks that once required a human's effort in seconds with a very low percentage of error. It's a bit scary, if I do say so myself. On the one hand, I believe that we humans are abusing the access that we have to the artificial intelligence, and that if we continue at this pace, the future won't be a very happy place. It also gives a sense of uncertainty. If machines are already replacing us, what will be left for us humans? What will happen if the career I choose is replaced by the artificial intelligence? In a tech magazine, it has been stated that companies such as Google, Duolingo, and IBM have been replacing large percentages of their workers by AI machines. Even hospitals here in Argentina have been using robots, such as El Hospital Italiano with its robot Da Vinci in various surgeries. It's a chilling idea, isn't it? The fact that at any moment someone or something can replace us with a very non-existent margin of error. As horrible as it may seem, there is another side of the face behind all of these facts. The advancement of artificial intelligence has been generating large numbers of new jobs for the world that in the past could not even be thought about. In a Forbes News article, editors confirmed that nowadays many people have been graduating or working as AI trainers, operators, and that they are essential in the growth and progress of many companies. Other jobs such as sentiment analyzers, content creators, and tech entrepreneurs have been crucial in the expansion of these companies. So, despite all of the challenges that AI has been presenting, we humans have certain qualities that robots simply cannot replace. We have the ability to feel empathy, compassion, sensitivity, and many other things towards other human beings. Meanwhile, AI does things automatically, without thinking about others and their emotions. So, although it may not seem that they can replace us in every living aspect of our lives, they don't have one key thing that makes us all humans: emotions. We can connect others in a deeper level, understanding their struggles, their joys, their fears. This ability to care for other living beings, it was differs us from robots. It's something no non-living thing can replicate, no matter how advanced they are. So, what do we do with AI? Do we stay as further away as possible, or do we exploit it? I believe that we should use it as a tool. We shouldn't fear it, neither overuse it. We should learn how to use it so that we can improve today's complicated society and allow it to be its best version so that we can live life at its fullest. Us, the younger generations, should start to think about how we want our future to be: a robot-like society, or a society where we can achieve our best potential.